Hi everybody, it's Aggie and welcome to another Thursday video. So there are two types of people in this world, those who like Friends and those who like Seinfeld, and I am definitely the team Seinfeld. There's an episode where Jerry is falling asleep, he's comfortable in his bed, and then he wakes up because he has this great idea for a joke. So he grabs the first thing that he has at hand, which is like a scrap piece of paper, and he writes this idea for a joke upside down. And then the whole episode basically revolves around him trying to work out what he wrote. And when he actually manages to read it, it turns out it wasn't actually that funny to begin with. Now, I've been in this situation quite a few times where I had a really good idea, but I had nothing to write it down on, so I made it a conscious habit to always have something that I can write down my ideas on in my purse. So whether it's a Rocketbook, Onyx, or whichever, I always have something to capture those ideas. But sometimes those ideas come to us when we are very nice and comfortable in bed. I don't necessarily want to have to get up from my bed when I'm nice and ready to fall asleep and walk all the way to the office and sit down by my desk and start writing things down because I know I might have issues with falling asleep later on. So I have a system and I have some strategies to capture those really good ideas that you may have just before you fall asleep so that you can work on them the following day and not lose them. So I know some of you don't like to keep your phones in the bedroom, you want them relegated permanently elsewhere, so I have one tip that will work for you as well. So let's get into it. Idea number one, if you have a tablet or a phone at hand with an open Word document or an open office document, you can just make a quick note, write something down, especially if you have a tablet with those styluses to capture that idea. Idea number two is using a note-taking app on your phone. Now, this comes with a few, I would call them drawbacks. First of all, not all phones have good note-taking apps of their own, and some of the downloadable ones come with adverts or are paid for. Also, it's not about compiling lots and lots of ideas that you can then carry around, but just to make them ready to do something with them the following day. So yes, note-taking app, but not to just collect ideas and let them sit there in vain. Idea number three, this is something I do quite often. I email myself. I just grab my phone and type in some of the things that came to me, for example, an idea for a post or an article or a video or something to look into the following day. And because it's in my email inbox, I know I'm going to open it, I know I'm going to action it or do something with it the following day. Idea number four. So this idea relies on making a voice note on your phone and then open a Word document and enable dictation function, and then you can get your phone to dictate this idea to your Microsoft Word document and you will have a ready point to work on further. And I actually do believe that voice notes are extremely handy because you might not want to stare at a screen, you just switch on the voice app, which by the way you can find on any phone and you probably don't have to download one externally, and you just tell your idea in as much detail as you want and then you have something to work on the following day. Idea number five requires some fiddling, shall we say, but it also may work for people who will look on their phones when they get up the following morning, and this is setting up an alarm with your idea in it. So maybe just before your scheduled alarm or maybe just after, make this alarm with the title which will be your idea, so such and such, and then you know that you won't forget it and you won't miss it in avalanches of messages and notifications that you might be getting onto your phone. The next idea is setting up a Google Calendar or an Outlook calendar event with your idea in it, especially if you use your Google Calendar to organize your working day or your tasks. This is what you can do. Put that in there and remind yourself to look at it at a particular time. Maybe if you have a blocked out time for reflection or some thinking time, that would be a great time to put that idea for yourself to look at. It doesn't have to be Google Calendar, it could be whatever app or client that you use for time management and tracking and scheduling. Again, if you like to use mobile assistants, you can ask your assistant to remind you about an idea. Obviously, it might work better for people who work from home and can look at their phones during the day. For someone like me who has a permanently muted notifications and ringtones on my phone because I am currently working from home all the time and I am spending most of my day at hearings and meetings. So that wouldn't really work for me because I would probably miss it. But if you know that you will be able to listen to your phone and it's on, that's a good idea for you to try. So there are 2 apps that I don't really use as of yet, but I'm going to try and explore them next year to see if they could make my workflow even more streamlined and if they can save me time. And those are Google Keep and OneNote. Again, if you don't want to download external apps with lots of advertising, or if you don't want to pay for an Evernote client, you can try Google Keep on your mobile for free. And last but not least, for those of you who don't like technology, who prefer the touch and feel of paper, who like to use a writing tool, I have this solution, which is a Rocketbook mini, and setting it next to your bed on your bedside table. I really like this tool. I really use it all the time for shopping lists, chore lists, just loose ideas. For example, right now I'm still not 100% mobile, so coming up and down the stairs is a whole process for me. For example, if I want to sit down in the living room and read books or watch TV, it's quite an involved process, and I usually have to take a backpack with me to carry, my headphones and my books, etc., up and down the stairs. If I just want to chill and watch TV, but if I know that I might get a really good idea, I don't know, mid-episode of Supernatural or Fringe, I have this with me and my trusty Friction fine liner pen. These are my favorites, by the way. I would just grab this with me, I put it in my pocket and have it at hand, and if I think of something that's really cool, or maybe if I come to a solution to a problem that I've been thinking about, I just write it down, put it away, and I don't disturb my viewing pleasure, if you will. I really recommend that you get yourself one of those. They are, I believe, just short of £15, but if you use my discount code, which is Aggie10, no, it's this side, isn't it? It's Aggie10. You can get 10% off your purchases of Rocketbooks and Rocketbook accessories in the UK, US, and Europe stores. So that might be something to think about if you want to invest in a more sustainable note-taking solution. That's everything that I prepared for you. I hope you liked my paperless note-taking idea capturing a bedtime idea video. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and I'll see you next week with another paperless episode, and this one is going to be quite a special one, so stay tuned for next Thursday. Thank you again, and bye bye.